So the Green Bay Packers moved to 4-1-1 today by defeating the Arizona Cardinals 27-23. And let's be honest, they're 4-1-1. They should realistically be 6-0. I'm not a cocky fan. In fact, I am considered a pessimistic fan. I've seen too much. I know too much about this team. They should be 6-0. With that being said, that damn Browns game that will haunt me for the rest of my life, and that damn tie with the Dallas Cowboys. That being said, these are all games that they should be winning right now. Next week's going to be a challenge. Next week is a franchise-altering game against the GOAT, Aaron Rodgers. But before I get to that, let's get to this game. Like I mentioned, 27-23, the Packers defeated the Arizona Cardinals. Man, I know I just got done praising this team, how they should be 6-0 right now. But man, they almost lost this game, and I was about to put in the thumbnail that this team sucks. The reason that said is we have seen all through training camp and through the first two games that this team has sky-high potential. Sky-high potential. Defeated the Detroit Lions. Defeated the Washington Commanders. Sky-high potential. And you can see it as clear as day. When the offense is clicking. When Jordan Love is in rhythm. When the offensive line is blocking. When the receivers are getting open. When Josh Jacobs is doing Josh Jacob things. This team is unbelievable offensively. Defensive-wise, when Micah Parsons is getting to the quarterback, which he has done all season, at least when it comes to pressures, not including this game because he had 3 sacks. He got to the quarterback this game. But when the defense is creating turnovers, which they haven't done all season, albeit they did turn the ball over today. Thank you, Rashawn Gary, for stepping up today. But when this defense is creating turnovers and covering guys one-on-one, unstoppable defense. I have nothing to say about the special teams because they absolutely suck. Until Lucas Haversick made a franchise record 61-yard field goal today. Dude was going to be a substitute teacher 2 weeks ago. He made a 61-yard field goal with 7 seconds left. Green Bay got the ball back right before halftime. Jordan Love made a beautiful throw, connected to Romeo Doubs, one play, called the timeout with 1 second left, and they made a 61-yard field goal. That's why you don't just kneel the ball when you get the ball back with 7 seconds left. One beautiful throw puts you right in position, call timeout, 1 second left, kick that 61-yarder, just absolutely, probably save the game. Because before that, you were going to go down 13-3 at halftime to a 2-4 Arizona Cardinals team. Just poor offensive possession. But with that being said, the offense at halftime, and I'm kind of jumping ahead here because before all this, the Green Bay Packers were leaving for Arizona. I believe it was yesterday in the morning. 5, 6 hour, 7 hour delay on the plane. Plane was fucked up. They were just having nightmare problems, so they didn't get to Arizona till late last night. Game started today at 3:30. Then all of a sudden, Keyshawn Nixon, he comes up sick. You know, he turns up on the injury sheet late last night, questionable. He did end up playing today, did having a nice game. Didn't hear from him all game, so I assume it was great. Josh Jacobs, another guy who was ill last week, had a great game, but has not been getting better, so he was not doing well. He did end up playing today. We'll get to that in a second. So with all that being said, all the problems with getting to the game, then only scoring 3 points offensively in the first half, this team had all the reason to give up. And in fact, me as a fan, I had given up. I was about to put in the thumbnail, this team sucks. But Matt pulled his head out of his ass offensively and as a play caller, and finally did the right thing by targeting Tucker Kraft. That's right, Tucker Kraft finally got the targets today. And in the first half, that wasn't the case. But I think he saw what Arizona was doing with Trey McBride, who had 13 targets today, 10 catches, 74 yards, and 2 touchdowns. And he's like, why don't I try to match that? He gave it to Tucker Kraft, 10 targets, ended up only catching 5 of them for 58 yards and a touchdown. But if you're not giving Tucker Kraft at least 5 catches, like I mentioned last week's video, you're not doing him right. He's a top 5 tight end in the NFL. Bar none. Easily top 5. But the Green Bay Packers pulled it out of their ass in the second half and ended up scoring 24 in the second half, 14 in the fourth quarter. It was really nice to see because prior to that, they were just, defense was holding. You know, they held them to 13 points in the first half, but, you know, they were getting pressure. Defense had 6 sacks today. We'll get to that in a second, but it was just not clicking offensively. They weren't executing. You know, they held Jordan in protection today. They only allowed 1 sack today, which was nice to see, as you should against an Arizona Cardinals team. So it was nice to see the offensive line get back into a groove. But still a lot of work to be done on the offensive line. We need to see better from those guys. But that being said, offensively, Josh Jacobs wasn't the starter today. It was actually Emmanuel Wilson, who didn't have the best day stat-wise, but you could just tell when Emmanuel Wilson's in the game and then when Josh Jacobs is in the game. Because when Josh Jacobs is in the game, different type of runner, different type of monster, different type of bowling ball running at you 100 miles an hour. He had 13 carries for 55 yards and 2 touchdowns. Love to see that from Josh. Josh is he is the offense. He is the biggest piece of this offense to get him working. Him and Tucker Kraft. And it was so nice to see Josh Jacobs. Jordan Love mentioned it after the game. Josh is a dog, and he is a dog. Played through illness today. He was sick last week, sick this week. Was questionable. Was a true, air quotes, game time decision. And he played, and he was the X factor in the game. Those 2 touchdowns gave Green Bay the lead. It was awesome to see. Romeo Doubs had a nice game, 6 catches, 72 yards. Just did his job. Romeo Doubs did his job. 6 catches, 72 yards. That's all you can ask for Romeo Doubs. Thank you, Romeo. Matthew Golden, 4 catches, 37 yards. Just really want to see him get going. Matthew Golden is best catcher on this team. Romeo Doubs is a great catcher, but I think Matthew Golden is even better. Matthew Golden needs to be more part of this offense, in my opinion. The kid is dangerous. Let's get him going. Let's get him going like I see Emeka Egbuka, Luther Burden, like these other wide receivers, like Ted McMillan from the Panthers. I want to see Matthew Golden get going because he, I believe, is a special talent at the wide receiver position, without a doubt. You saw my video. I loved when Green Bay drafted him. Unbelievable stuff by the kid. I want to see him get going. And it's only going to help because next week, the X factor of all X factors returns offensively. Christian Watson returns next week against Pittsburgh. I am so excited. I want to see how this offense just absolutely erupts. The deep threat is there now for the Green Bay Packers. Everything's starting to land. And then when Jaden Reed comes back, we're fucking off to the fucking races. Romeo Doubs, Jaden Reed, Christian Watson, Matthew Golden, sprinkling Dontavian Wicks as your 5th string receiver. Oh my goodness. Tucker Kraft, Josh Jacobs. This offense has a chance to be dangerous, but they need to execute. The first half of today, they did not execute. If it was Matt calling the plays, if it was Jordan Love not hitting throws, I mean, Jordan Love, good passing efficiency today, but the yards wasn't there. Only 179 yards passing, but he was efficient for 19 for 29. Like I said, big Josh Jacobs was the key to this day, and Tucker Kraft, getting the targets today. Defensive wise, Quay Walker, who from the eye test, I thought he had a great game. He had a sack and a half. He led the team with tackles today with 9. And that being said, he left the game in like the third quarter too, which is kind of unbelievable. Still led the team with 9 tackles. Um, hopefully it's nothing too bad right there, because we need Quay Walker bad. He's a big part of this defense. Evan Williams led the team second in tackles with 8. But let's just get to the main point. Micah Parsons is him. H-I-M. He is him. 3 sacks today, including an additional 1 tackle for loss. This is why you trade 2 first-round picks and a Kenny Clark for Micah Parsons. 3 sacks. Immediately skyrockets his ass up to in the top 5 in sacks in the NFL. We as Packer fans have been waiting for this game. He's been getting double, even triple teamed all year. But today, Arizona said, we're just going to single cover him. And this is what happens. He gets 3 sacks when he's single covered all game. And it should have been 4. He should have had 4 sacks if it wasn't for that bullshit ticky-tack hip drop tackle. Like NFL, be better. Hip drop tackle, and it wasn't even bad. Didn't pull him by his collar. He just grabbed him by the hip. Micah Parsons grabbed Jacoby Brissett by the hip, drug him down. He's playing football. That should have been 4 sacks today. I digress. He still had 3, and 2 of them were on that final. 2 of the sacks were in the red zone too against Arizona. Big plays. Micah Parsons single-handedly won this game today. You know, easily. He won this. He put a W in the win column for the Packers. Micah Parsons is that guy. I'm so happy he's a Green Bay Packer. Like I mentioned, the Green Bay Packers had 6 sacks today. 3 of them were Micah Parsons. 1.5 were Quay Walker. The other half sack was by J.J. Enikbari, who's apparently on the trade block. I'm not sure if I necessarily want that, but depending on compensation, if it's like a 4th-round pick, I would probably trade him. But I like the depth that he brings with Lucas Van Ness being out. So as of for right now, I'd like to keep JJ. And then Rashawn Gary also had a sack today, which I didn't think Gary had a great game at all, but he made probably one of the top 3 biggest plays all game, forcing that forced fumble sack on Jacoby Brissett, which I think it was Evan Williams who recovered it. Just completely swung momentum in Green Bay's favor. But that's what Micah Parsons does. He creates so many eyes on him. It allows guys like Rashawn Gary to make the play on defense. And that's what you need. You need Rashawn Gary. Rashawn Gary is one of the most important players on this team in order for this team to have success. He's not an all-world player, but he is so important. He got his first Pro Bowl last year, which in my opinion probably shouldn't have even gotten it. The man's never had 10 sacks in a season. But he has potential, and he's got the speed, and he's got athleticism, and he's got the power. He can beat these guys, these tackles one-on-one. But he's got to do it. And he's the X factor in this whole season, without a doubt. Rashawn Gary has to be him. And I have my doubts about him, but I really hope he proves me wrong. Another guy who I hope proves me wrong, but he's not. He just sucks. Let's just get to the point. He sucks. I was rooting for him so hard when we signed him in the offseason. But Nate Hobbs, he is a problem on this Packers team. They need to find every way to not give him snaps. Nate Hobbs, it was so funny. Fox was showing a highlight package for the Arizona Cardinals because that's just what they do. And every single highlight is Nate Hobbs getting beat by somebody. It was just so, I was laughing my ass off. It was just like, oh, of course, yep, there's Nate Hobbs on the coverage getting beat by Marvin Harrison. Oh, there's Nate Hobbs getting beat by Trey McBride. Oh, there's Nate Hobbs getting beat by Michael Wilson. It's just like, I don't know what Carrington Valentine did to Jeff Halfley, but I'm almost thinking, get Valentine's ass back in there, because I don't want to see Nate Hobbs like starting every single snap at the cornerback position. It's just, he's gonna It's just a horrible game by Nate Hobbs, without a doubt. Um, that being said, Marvin Harrison, who came into this game questionable, did end up playing. He only had 2 catches for 58 yards. Um, but I just didn't like to see, no Kyler Murray today. They have Arizona has a bye week next week, so I think they just wanted to give him 2 weeks rest before he can come back. But didn't like how Jacoby Brissett, he went 25 for 36, 279 yards, 2 touchdowns, pardon me. And I just didn't like the efficiency. But with that being said, Green Bay's defense they did enough, and they did what they needed to do to beat this tough game on the road. The Green Bay got its first road win of the year. It was just so big. Like I mentioned, 4-1-1 now, still on top of the NFC North, which again is going to be another tough division. Bears win today, 4th in a row, unbelievable. They moved to 4-2. Vikings lost today, which was nice to see, so they moved to 3-3. And then obviously Detroit plays tomorrow against Tampa Bay, who is a really great team. Just a great matchup overall, but Tampa Bay a lot of their players are playing injured, so it's going to be a tough game for them. But this NFC North is going to be a battle, but let's get to the main event. Next week, the Green Bay Packers go to Pittsburgh and play Aaron Rodgers. I mean, I just cannot wait for this game. I don't even know how I'm going to feel. Going to be a lot of emotions. I love Aaron Rodgers. The man has only given me so much happiness. And I don't even know how to feel. Obviously, I want Green Bay to win so bad, but I know Aaron and the way he thinks he's going to want to find every way to beat the Packers. And what's beautiful is I know for a fact Aaron Rodgers wants the Packers to win every single week, but I know not next week though. And I know he's going to want to play his best game of his career. It's going to be beautiful. It's going to be, there's not a lot of guys left on that defense that played with Aaron, but there's a lot of guys, on the offense that played with Aaron that are still on the team, and obviously Matt coached Aaron. It's going to be beautiful. I cannot wait for next week. Sunday Night Football, you can't beat that showcase. I wish it was at Lambeau, but nonetheless, we get to see Aaron Rodgers play against the Green Bay Packers. And what a time to be alive. It can't be much better than this. And it can't be much better than how the Packers are feeling after this win. They're going to be flying home, hopefully no delays, back to Green Bay. But the Green Bay Packers are 4-1-1 and top of the division. And you just can't beat that. It's a good time to be alive. So thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you next week. I'll probably be in tears next week, but I can't wait. It's going to be a great game. Go Pack, go.